Happy Monday, Bill.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm just now having lunch, so I'm not going to let you watch me eat.
That's all right. Well, then you won't get to see that I have hardly any hair product in my hair today, and I'm starting to get the shelf on the side because I don't have a barber anymore.
Oh, we all have hair stories to tell. Trust me.
We're all starting to, yes. I cut my son's hair. I bought a clipper off of Amazon last week, and I started. I'm like, I'm just gonna cut my kids' hair too.
Oh, I was looking at everybody's hair when I was in the grocery store. They all look just as pitiful as mine.
It's so true. Well, we're all gonna get. You're gonna see a bunch of guys with buzz cuts here pretty soon, I think.
Actually, I've seen a few where they've rubber banded little ponytails.
We actually did that with my son today at lunch. We DoorDash Chick-fil-A and had it at the kitchen table at lunchtime. And they and my 16-year-old daughter put two pigtails in my son's hair in the front.
It's quite doable right now for a lot of folks.
It is. It's like we got Mike here. Let's see how many people got turned off from the last Zoom meeting I hosted last week.
I don't think it was done badly. I think it was very valuable.
I appreciate that. See how many more people we get to join the call here.
Hey, Bill.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good too. You know, I'm just noticing now that my my Zoom screen is only covering as much of my wall as my green screen covered.
Yeah.
I can see on the screen, like, it looks like it's like, gosh, that's so weird. I'm gonna fix that right now. There, I fixed it.
Ah,
That's better. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Bill.
Chris is in the saddle too. It looks like you're hanging out in like is your background from Grand Theft Auto, Chris?
No, what was it? The Lego movie.
Hey, Mandy.
hi.
Hey, Mandy.
Hey, Brandy. I haven't talked to you since 3 weeks now.
I know. I had a lot going on. Well, I was sick, and then last week my mom was in the hospital, and a lot of stuff on the phone there. So she's home now. My sister is going over every day, taking care of her. We just found out she has colon cancer. So
I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that.
yeah, it's just tough. So mentally been dealing with all of that, and I've found myself going down a rabbit hole with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's getting better. I had a good talk with Tina today and getting back on track. So we need to schedule a meeting soon.
Yeah, we should. Definitely. We should.
Absolutely.
So out of respect for everyone's time, we're going to get started. I'm trying to keep these meetings to about 45 minutes. And then if anyone has more questions or has any other thoughts for like a breakout or anything like that. Today, I want to talk about how you guys are doing. And I want to know if you have reset, like what changes have you made since March 1st for your business, and what is working and what do you wish was working better? And the purpose of asking that question is to create some debate around what I like to call light attracts light. So I have to, when I go play golf with friends, I have to go play golf with people who are really good golfers in order for me to play a better game of golf. And in order for me to raise up all of my peers, I like to talk about activities that you're doing that will help you fuel your productivity and to feel like you were able to win the day. So if anyone wants to chime in, what changes have you made since March 1st for your business? Is it working? Is there some need for more improvement? What does that look like?
I know for me, it's Friday was 1 month since I started with KW, and it's been kind of a roller coaster getting started. And I know, um, there's things that I've learned, and there's still a lot I need to learn. And I know that working from home is its own challenge. I moved my desk over the weekend so I can shut the door and the dog's not barking. Jack is finishing up his first year at my ad, so he's doing his thing around. So it's nice. Today was probably the most productive day that I've had in a while.
Nice.
Because I could just shut the door, so that felt good.
So Brandy, I want you to write down one thing. And if it's the one thing you take away from the call, it to me is one of the most important things. And I had this discussion from a former mentor of mine who is also a coach. And he basically said this to me. He said, your goal is not a goal unless you can measure it. So for you to take away one thing with the whole idea that I'm asking you to surrender to a process, I'm asking you to think about this in a light that is like if you were going to Anytime Fitness and you hear the commercial on the radio or on TV, they call it the judgment-free zone. I want you to think about this as if we're in the judgment-free zone right now. Whatever you do going forward for the next 30 days, however you're going to measure, however you're going to make goals, make sure you can measure them so that you can determine how well you did at attaining them.
Okay.
It's going to be the one thing, because I know like right now I have a list, and as you get more advanced with your list, one of the things they call it in corporate America is your KPMs. That's your key performance metrics. So we have key performance metrics with our team, and those relate to how many times the file gets submitted back to underwriting before it's clear to close, for example. So the reason why I say that is because we have cases where you talk about a rabbit hole. Well, how about I get 1 or 2 documents back from a customer and I submit it back to underwriting, and I have them just look at it like 15 times before the file gets clear to close. That's not efficient. So it's part of like when you're going to go fly out of town on a vacation, think about all the checklist of items that the maintenance and the mechanics have to do to the jet before the jet goes up in the air. The same thing goes with your business model. How many things are you going to do to feel like you're ready for the sales call, ready for the listing presentation, etc.? What's that going to look like? Anyone else? So Chris went on sabbatical for a minute. I'm gonna ask: is anyone having any challenges in their dialogue with people being ready to look at buying before they sell? Is anyone having any challenges with that dialogue right now? Hey, Shelly.
Hi. Oh yeah, I had to get hot cocoa for the kids.
Nice. So the reason why I bring that question up to you is because I got 2 phone calls from agents who sounded flustered over the weekend that were just going through a dialogue with a seller, and the seller basically made it sound like they didn't have any interest in discussing the idea that they would entertain a dialogue around buying before you sell. Now, I want you to treat me as the second face. And if you're not treating me as the second face, in a discussion around buying before you sell, I want to make sure you have a person that you rely on to be your second face. Who has bought a car in the last 2 years? Anyone bought a couple people have bought a car in the last 2 years. Did you go? Mandy did too. Did any of you get a chance to have a conversation with the sales manager before you finalized the deal?
No.
Did anyone have to have a conversation with anyone besides the main salesperson as a part of the negotiating process to finalize the deal?
I was kind of my own salesperson, so.
So let me be more specific about what I mean by that. Before I got into the mortgage industry, when I was 25 years old, I was a finance manager at Wild Toyota. And I didn't know that I wanted to be in the mortgage business till I got recruited into the mortgage business. But what happened was you would have a person who is really, doing a feature benefit presentation. They're almost sounding like they might have a bias because they're acting like a salesperson and not a teacher. They're coming off, as if they always have a counterpoint for every point, so on and so forth. So one of the oldest tactics in the book in sales is to bring in a second face. Because if that person had any preconceived notions about you, your delivery, honestly, just about anything, bringing in a second face sometimes can seal the deal. So the reason why I say that to you is because I got 2 customers to agree over the weekend to proceed with going pre-approval, not subject to their sale after I talked to them. And the reason why is because of how I present the information. So one of the things that you're going to encounter in a market where, does anyone know how many months of inventory we have right now? It's under 3 months, right? How many months of inventory do we have right now?
Bill, you're making us look bad. We should know this.
Your key performance metrics, right?
I
Oh,
think we're around 3. I know national average I read this morning was 3.4, but I didn't look at our local this morning.
Okay, so thank you for saying that, Mandy. So really what I'm trying to get at here is this whole idea that you would have a partner that you could bring in to help you close the transaction. Now, you might not think of it like a closing, but it's that breaking point where it's water boils at what, 212 degrees, right? So we want to get to that point where we can actually get into the spot where we're actually moving forward. And I can find out pretty quickly whether or not someone is willing to commit to this process if after I map out a bridge loan for them, and if after I map out what a recast is for them, the whole idea that we could modify your loan and restructure it later, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, we're rolling. So the example that I'll give you right now is one that just happened with Nicole Geiger. We had a couple that were on 78th Street in Milwaukee, and I helped Nicole do a virtual open house over the weekend. I went there and I recorded the video with her, and I edited the video. We put it on Facebook. That couple had to write a non-contingent offer in order for them to get into their new house. And basically what it entailed was me showing them the bridge loan, how that was going to be about the same mortgage payment as they have now. So that's one of your key takeaways. Chances are when you go to an interest-only payment on a bridge loan, you will have a mortgage payment if you roll in the extra equity. For a lot of sellers, you will have a mortgage payment that's very similar to the payment that you have now. And the second thing is, and this is probably the most important one, very few people think about this, that you can actually take the 2 months of mortgage payments that you might need to actually really make if you really did need to do a bridge loan in this market, and you can pull that from your equity also and put that money off on the side so that you can make those payments until you get your house sold. So let's say a lot of times people have an issue with doing a bridge loan because they have a cash flow issue, right? They maybe don't have the extra money set aside. So their fear is taking the precedent in the way that they think. So what I do is I'll map out a worksheet. How many on the call use a seller net worksheet? So what you need to do is, and if you want to have a breakout with me on the side, work it out where I like to do email introductions. I'll say, through this email, I'm introducing you to so-and-so so that they can have a dialogue with you about our process. And notice I'm using certain words in the way that I use your subconscious mind to create confidence in the way that you view something. I'm not trying to overly persuade you. I'm going to use certain words. So I have a process. We have a process that we'd like to show you by where you can buy a home before you sell. And what we found, so remember there's this way of selling, it's called the feel, felt, found rule. What we have found is that other people have embarked on looking at buying before they sell and found that they didn't end up even actually needing to go through that process once they were actually able to get on the market. And so we'll use a worksheet and we will show the customer how much they will net out on their sale. And we will put it on paper and show them a plan that's mapped out. So I want to make sure if there's one thing you're ready for right now during what I definitely believe to be the new normal, because this is really the new normal. We're going through some shift here, right? Like we keep talking about the shift. It's to be on point with the ability to have a discussion about bridge financing or the ability to do a recast. And if you don't want to try explaining that yourself, be really good with your elevator speech, what you will say, and the amount of time it takes you to go from the first floor to the third floor around what you will say to bring in a new face to introduce that discussion so that you can seek commitment. How many of you are, be honest, how many of you are making like a list of people that are 0 to 3 months, 3 to 6 months out, and 6 to 9 months out in your pipeline of customers that you talk to? Honest opinion, we only got 9 people on the call and 3 of them I can't even see their face. CJ, what's up? So CJ's doing that. Who else is doing it? But because CJ's doing it, I'll assume by deductive reasoning that Shelly's doing it too. Who else is making a list of your 0 to 3, your 3 to 6, and your 6 to 9?
I have it in my opportunities in command.
Awesome. So through hopefully through discussion, through osmosis, whatever it needs to be, I want to make sure that if there's one thing I reemphasize right now is the sales cycle, okay? So the sales cycle when there's a lot of low-hanging fruit is, which let's take, boy, I think it started in January of 2019. Don't you guys? In January of 2019, I felt like the sales cycle to get people under contract, to get people to list, all of those things was pretty short. Would you agree? And the sales cycle now seems to be a little different. So I actually like almost feel like I need to spill my guts when I talk to the customer about this. And I will basically say, Mr. Customer, I understand how you feel. What I have found is that other people who embark on this discussion now have themselves in a position to list their house in the near future if they're able to check off certain boxes on their list. I need to help you figure out what boxes those are for you so that we can devise a plan to help you get further through that process of deciding what you're going to do. And then within the sales cycle, you need to figure out how many times per week you're going to touch them, or per month, or per quarter, to get those people to go out of the 6 to 9 month bucket to the 3 to 6 month bucket to the 0 to 3 month bucket. And when I talk to my peers at Bank 59, what I'm finding out right now is that everybody, not everybody, but a good majority of people are reactive and not proactive around the approach to their follow-up with these leads. It's almost like I got a new Zillow lead. I'm going to call that person right now because that's a new opportunity that's fresh. It's not, I haven't vetted out that person, but in my subconscious mind, I already made the decision that this person is not going to buy or sell right now. So that person, I take that and I tear it up, and they're not on the list anymore. They're gone. But as a part of your 36-point touch that you're doing on a monthly basis, one of these things that you have to be doing, and I actually have success stories from doing this where I use co-video, okay? Whoever uses BombBomb or Loom or whichever one you want to use, I use co-video for one very simple reason. I can send out a message to the people that are in the 6 to 9 month bucket, because which bucket is the biggest? Let's be honest. It's the 6 to 9 month bucket, or the 9+ month bucket, whatever. Someone that's so far out you don't even know when they're coming back. So I can add as many contacts in the 2 line. I can make a message and I can put all those people in the column to send, and it will send one individual email to all of those people. And I'm seeking engagement right now via, and I said this at the call last Monday afternoon, a week ago, I'm seeking more engagement now via video than I ever have. And I'm a big proponent of video. I got my camera right here. I got my GoPro right over there. I use my phone. I'm going all in right now with video because, and if I took this green screen down, you guys wouldn't even believe what's behind it. No, I'm just kidding. Think of it like that. Like, what are your activities going to be around harnessing the capture rate with those numbers? Because if you can get people to move up to that 0 to 3 month bucket, that's where you're going to increase, the opportunity here. And if you're not measuring that, I feel like sometimes we need to hear it again. Honestly, I go to a sales presentation at a seminar or at a workshop, whatever. And honestly, I feel like this person who is ultra successful is going to say something to me that is just going to give me this epiphany, like a shower of revelations is just going to overcome me. And I'm suddenly going to convert a whole ton of people I never thought I could convert. I'm suddenly going to get into a place where I never thought I could possibly be. And it really wasn't because of that at all. It was because I actually really made a concerted effort to follow through on the what was the highest dollar productive behavior. Does anyone have any success stories about their follow-up that they can share with the group? I know CJ does. Shelly does. She's just on
Okay.
mute.
I'm sorry. The kids are out of control. So here's a simple thing for follow-up that I thought of earlier. I think when Mandy mentioned she uses the opportunity pipeline in Command.
Yeah.
So one little tiny tip that's helped me is renaming those to the month that we think they're going to sell in, so that at a glance I can kind of quickly see where they are, because otherwise you can't rename them 1 to 3 months, because in 3 months then it's already, you know what I mean? So that was just something that we did to help me understand what he already knows, because he knows where people are. I have no idea, but yet I want to be able to help.
I think that's great. Awesome. So how do people feel encouraging their prospects to use Zoom or Google Hangouts or FaceTime? Do you have a script where you're going to get engagement with people doing face-to-faces? How many people are really doing face-to-faces as opposed to phone calls and that kind of thing?
That's a deficit of mine, and I need to change that because, I mean, the connection with being able to see the expression and everything is invaluable. So that's something I need to work on and do more of.
So I found a couple things out after the last time I was at the gym was on March 14th. And I think somewhere in my subconscious mind, I knew I wasn't going to the gym again for a long time. That was on a Thursday night. I had a feeling that I wasn't going to get to go to the gym again. So much so that there was like no one in there. Like a bunch of people had already been freaked out and scared off. Like they weren't even going there anymore. And one of the things that I found, Kathy, is that I have to have a spot or either a forum or a place in my Zen place where I'm ready to do a face-to-face meeting call. Okay. So whatever you need to make that to look like, what I finally realized and came to like accept is that I am just like anyone else in the sense that I'm a creature of habits, right? So if you take and you put me in a room and it's an unfamiliar room to me, I might not have the same dialogue with a customer that I'm used to having because I got to be, all the stars need to line up just perfectly. So I don't know about you, but lately I have relearned where and how I'm going to prospect. And I got this one spot and I'm sitting in it right now with my backdrop. I got everything all just so I have my happy place for prospecting. And if you look on the other side of my office here, I have a whiteboard. And as crazy as it might sound, using command and all those things, which is great, I make a list of people on the whiteboard. I write it all out. So writing things down gets me going right here. I write it all down and I'm going to write down the names and then I'm going to cross them off as I go. Because honestly, I'm kind of back to a basic, really like a big revelation that I'm just going to say it's block and tackle. Okay. What do they teach you in football when you're just learning the basics? If you're going to be on defense, they teach you block and tackle. So I'm using I had Brandy, didn't I send you the greatness tracker and the lead tracker? You're on mute.
Hi.
Hey.
Yes, you did send that to me.
So can you tell us what those two are? What those two are?
Where it should be.
Can you tell the group what the lead tracker and the greatness tracker are?
The lead tracker, gosh, I don't even have it right in front of me to know the right one. Put me on the spot here, Bill.
Got to have a little group participation.
I haven't been doing my homework as well as I should have been. I admit that. But they are.
I'm going to take you off the spot and just chime in on what that looks like. And if you have anything to add, join, hop right in. So I have two forms if anyone wants them. I have two forms that I've been using for prospecting for a while. And while I realize you can use command, you literally sometimes need to just take it down to basics. So one of them is a lead tracker, which is a form that basically lists out every single person and the source of where the lead came from. And the greatness tracker has a spot for 40 quality phone calls which is either with your current clients, your past clients, your business partners, and it has a spot for break breads in it. So if anyone on this call is, and kind of surrender to this idea, how do you feel if you were going to grade yourself on your prospecting activities? How do you feel, not just that you had a couple of wins this week with some people that you had been nurturing for a while, but how many calls are you actually really measuring your calls? Are you feeling like you're gaining any progress, or do you feel like you're standing still?
And this now that I am looking at this, I think I am going to, since I got a printer now, going to print this out and just have it like right in front of me so that I see it and I can fill in every single box on this. And it's really a helpful tool with the greatness tracker.
Is everyone, let me say this, how is everyone on the call really super comfortable with the way they track their call log or their prospecting efforts on any given day? Is everyone super comfortable with that, or would they like a simple way for the time being to try doing something different if it meant it would give them a little bit of fire underneath them?
I'm open to suggestions and would love new ideas. And I'd actually like a copy of the 2 documents that you provided for Brandy.
Yeah, I'll send them. Anyone else?
Well, I know that CJ's probably on doing something else, but he has gone through a thing of trying to figure out how to best count his contacts. He started, all these different ways, and he's kind of doing what you're describing a little bit. He's got a journal, and he just does lines and like tracks them simple because sometimes having it on paper and writing it makes it more real. But yeah, go ahead and share what you've got.
Yeah, I'll send it over to you, Shelley. That sounds good. So another thing, there's CJ. CJ, are you there? I can't hear you.
That's a great idea. I just wanted to add.
Thank you, CJ. I appreciate it.
Oh, I meant Shelley.
Solid. I gotta get with you guys for the 10 minutes or we're gonna do that little 10-second video for Red Day. I'm gonna be Shelley, I'll reach out to you after the call to set up that time. Mandy, I gotta get with you too. You were on that list for doing the short video.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get out and do a bunch. I can only do 4 or 5 per day. So I'm hoping to get them done by the end of the week. Because I gotta get around and see everybody in their driveway. Hopefully they don't have to have their umbrellas.
And what
Hopefully
are they
not.
do? Is it dancing? Is it goofy dancing?
Well, yeah, you gotta wear a toga.
Oh,
Yeah, no, you
Wait a minute.
yeah, you're gonna you're just
Never
you're gonna
mind. You can take me off the list.
you gotta wear your KW Red Day t-shirt. And we're gonna put some music underneath like as a layer underneath it, but we're gonna get a bunch of people to chime in with their mission statement, what KW Red Day means for them, talk about, just something like your value proposition around it. And then we're gonna sample into a little jiggy, and if you and I'll speed it up or slow it down in the video because I can control the speed of the video. I'll speed it up or slow it down depending on how you're doing, and we'll make it right. Trust me. You wouldn't believe it. The video Nicole and I did. I mean, when we first got the footage together, we're laughing like, gosh, I don't even know how this is going to turn out. And after about 3.5 hours of editing, it turned out really good.
are you okay for a late
3.5
entry?
hours.
Yeah, sure.
I was scared of it, but if you can modify it to make me look like a superstar, then I'm in.
I'm really good with it. You trust me, you'll be really surprised.
Okay.
Be really surprised. Has anyone ever heard of Skillshare? So Skillshare.com is basically a place you can go where you can get a step-by-step tutorial on how to do just about anything. You can, and that's where I learned Adobe Premiere. So does anyone use the Adobe suite of programs at all? The Creative Cloud, is anyone using that? Okay, so Adobe Creative Cloud is about $60 a month for a business account, which is pretty darn expensive. That gives you all the, Photoshop and Premiere is the editing software, and it gives you a whole bunch of different really cool apps that Adobe came out with, especially like if you need to do anything with PDFs. And I understand we have so many tools right now, guys, but Adobe Premiere is amazing because I had a situation where I was in part of the video and my head was cut off in the video. And I was able to crop out me completely out of the video, and you wouldn't even know it that I was like right there. I just cropped myself out. And and then I basically, so like the moral of the story why I'm saying this is, if you had one thing that you could do with this time that we had, aside from making sure that you are doing everything you can to still achieve your sales goals, you're going to do one thing to better yourself, to upskill yourself. Find a kid who has a school email. I use my daughter. I got an Adobe Creative Cloud subscription for $200 for the entire year, which is way cheaper than what the business model one costs. And then I went to Skillshare, and instead of watching news about the coronavirus, I go on Skillshare.com and I watch videos on how to make stuff. So right now, Stephanie thinks my wife thinks I should try to learn how to play the guitar, which I think she's nuts, because I could learn how to play Smoke on the Water or River or whatever. But learning how to edit videos, that was really fun. And there's even videos on there about how to make a YouTube channel. When I went to when I got to go to the family reunion in Texas, back before we even realized how much fun we were about to embark on, I went to the YouTube video class, and I had talked with a few of you about the YouTube video startup strategy and all that already. But I just wonder how hard it would really be if you went and made a whole bunch of videos. Because like the first mistake you make when you're gonna give up on making videos, guys, is that you feel like you can't screw up. So you start a video, you hit record on your phone, and like I have this tripod with this phone holder right here. And then I have a microphone that I think it's around here somewhere. I've showed some of you this microphone that I have before. So the first thing is, you don't need a $3,000 camera to make videos. You don't. You can get a decent microphone. You can get a tripod with a phone holder, and you can even get a stabilizer where your videos don't shake. And you could probably invest like maybe $300 all in for all of those things. And then you could go and make your own videos. And the trick is taking small little slices of your video and putting them all together, and then creating transitions that go between the videos. And here's another one. I went to Fiverr, 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 and I animated my business logo, which right now I'm in the process of reanimating the one for Bank 59. So there's something called a stinger that they use in the video world. And it's basically like, if you animate your logo and you have like a backdrop, like the Calatrava exhibit or something like Holy Hill or something cool in the background, you put that at the end of every one of your videos. And the reason why is people are going to start associating with that the more times they see it. They see the same thing every single time you do a video. So I have this thing called a stinger at the end of my videos. It's only 3 seconds long, but it's basically an animation of my logo with my mission statement, my phone number, my email address. And I can get these stingers made super cheap from this guy. I think he's honestly in Turkey. And it's really cool, because all you do when you do these slices is you put it in behind everything else. So, and then the other thing that I'm doing right now that's even more is, how many people on the call have iPhones? How many people are Android versus iPhone? Kathy's iPhone, Brandy's iPhone. I'll assume if you're not raising your hand, you're an Android user. And if so, I still like you. It's okay. So there's a lot of different. You have a Google phone?
Yes.
So I'm using this app that makes me look like a cartoon character instead. And it puts a custom backdrop behind me. and I like Scott Kloss's birthday, I sent him a video, and the video had it was of me by like the Golden Gate Bridge. And so this is what it looked like. So you can see, like, I look like a cartoon character, right? So I just wanted to be able to give you an idea what that looked like. What ways can you seek engagement or give people the impression that you're human without making it fake? And I can tell you, I'm getting pretty good at it, I think. People either laugh at me and think I'm totally stupid, in which case I'm just making myself vulnerable, right? I'm just being vulnerable. Or the other thing is they're like, oh, wow, Bill just totally did something that I never would have thought that anyone would ever do, and really just struck a chord with me. So I want you to think out of left field for a minute sometimes in the way that your delivery works and how you approach getting someone to appeal to you. And I've gotten more comments lately about that kind of stuff. Like, you know, you do some really off the wall things on Facebook. I go, gosh, I should have showered today. Or, you know, whatever. I'm just trying to get a rise out of people, get people to associate with the human side of me, but then I bring it full circle back to me being serious and talking about my value proposition and the way I articulate myself. Because if I'm more like you, but then I turn on the professionalism in the next sentence, people really resonate with that. Does anyone have any sales success in the way that they approach people that they would like to share with the group?
I don't know. I feel like lately we've been doing, well, we've dabbled in this before, but doing like Facebook videos. Just, you know, it's like you don't even watch necessarily what you've done. Because like if this is actually how we talk, like even though like I'm like, oh, kind of looks bad, like that's really literally how I look and talk. And
Yeah.
so just trying to yeah, not be too hard on yourself, because you're right, you said that people notice and they like can relate.
Yep. Absolutely. So has anyone heard of Lee Brown? Leigh, Lee Brown. Okay, so this will be my second thing that I want you to write down. And seriously, if anyone still wants that greatness tracker, that lead tracker, maybe you know someone that needs one, needs to see it, please let me know and I'll send it to you. Right now, I'm sending it to Kathy and to Shelly. So Lee Brown is a realtor out of Concord, North Carolina, and her accent is absolutely infectious. But what Lee Brown does, and write this down, I'm not joking. I may sound like it sometimes, but I'm not right now. Leigh Brown, Brown. So she wrote some real estate books, and she also she's a keynote speaker. She was at NAR. She was at the NAR conference. She did the WRA conference in the Dells 2 years ago. She was the keynote there. This lady is like in the top 3 video makers in the country for real estate. And right now she's doing lunchbox school jokes. So kids get these little slips that have a joke in them, and she's reading that on her post, and then she gets into some special value proposition about her business. That's what I'm talking about bringing the human element into the way your clients perceive you. No one will tell you to your face if they think you're dry and you're a horse's ass. They will literally just not tell you, and they will carry on. But if they think you're cool and they resonate with you through the way that you approach them, you won't be forgettable. So watch Lee Brown, because I think she's absolutely amazing. And then the other thing that she's doing, and that's the one area, like I'm going to make myself vulnerable right now and tell you one of the things that I need to work on. I need to get captioning at the bottom of my videos when I try to use them on social, because there's such a high percentage of people in reality that are not actually clicking and listening to your message. And sometimes it's those words at the bottom of the screen that cause them to click on it and watch it. So if you have anything like that, you want to get a video captioned out, go to fiverr.com and get your video captioned out also. Like the virtual open house tour, honestly, that's the one change that I would have made on the one that I did for Nicole Geiger over the weekend, is I would have added the captioning. Now, in this case, that property got 7 offers and it sold for, I don't know, $16,000 over asking for a house on 78th Street in Milwaukee. Oh my goodness. You know, but the reality is you know, that captioning thing really does work. So what about birthdays? How many of you actually, aside from wishing someone a happy birthday on Facebook, how many of you actually send birthday cards or birthday announcements to your customers? Like I'm not talking about every customer. I'm talking about your A customers. How many of you actually send them out to your customers?
I did
CJ
last
does.
year.
What'd you say, Mandy?
I did last year. I ended up dropping off this year.
It'll be the one time that you did it that would benefit you, right?
Right.
So, all right. So here's a good one for you guys. CJ, this one will be for you too. You have all your Facebook birthdays come up once per day in your Facebook feed on your phone or your computer. Did you know that you can export your Facebook birthdays to your Gmail calendar? Boom. So yeah, mic drop. I don't have a mic to drop, so I'll drop my remote control. There.
Wow.
Kathy almost fell out of her chair.
I did. It's like, wow.
So right now, I can tell you on my phone, I have all of my Facebook birthdays that are inside my Google Calendar. So I don't have to go, because honestly, I don't want to go to Facebook any more than I have to. Every single week, my phone tells me how much time I spent on social, and it's actually pretty sad to know how much time I've spent on social, because what's the first thing I do when I wake up? At 6:15 in the morning, I go on Facebook. And I'm looking for ways to have it where doing birthdays is not a hassle. So here's another way to do birthdays. Has anyone heard of Sendo Cards? Sendocards.com.
Yep.
So Kathy has.
I've received some, and Lori Ballin mentioned those at the Jeff Glover. And they're very easy for you to take a picture off of someone's Facebook and make a personalized. She actually sent one to me and said, "This is a great picture. I just wanted to send you a note and let you know that this is a great picture that I, got you and your husband off of Facebook."
That's awesome. So I also liked it because one time one of my friends got overserved in the bar and they were passed out on their couch, and I took a picture of them and I saved it and I sent it to them, and they got it 4 days later and they got a really good laugh out of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
When I tucked someone into their bed on their couch. So that's a good one. If anyone is interested in learning how to export their Facebook birthdays, let me know. Kathy, you're on the list. Mandy, you're on the list.
I do what my dad did. He was a personal finance broker for years. And for over 30 years, he had a list given to him every single day. He picked up the phone and you got your call between 7 and 8 in the morning, and he sang happy birthday to every one of his clients.
Wow, that's awesome. I bet you it was really genuine too. Would you say, Brandy?
I need to know how to do that.
And when he retired, that's one of the things that, people missed. They still expected him in his retirement to pick up the phone and call him and sing happy birthday, because it was years and years of ritual.
That's awesome. But here's another one. The way that, like right now, sending a video message that's 30 seconds long in a text to your client is something that doesn't necessarily have to cause you to, catch them at the wrong time or whatever. They watch the message. It's a touch. Okay. So what is that called? Can anyone help me? Is it called the reticular nerve? there's a nerve that if you have a Corvette, all you see is Corvettes on the road. Okay. It's your reticular nerve. I don't know why I'm pointing at my head, but I am. So your reticular nerve is something that caused you to zero in on something. So if like my domain is billthebanker.com, I run with that nickname as much as I can, Bill the Banker. Okay. I'm trying to channel something that will cause you to remember me. Okay. So whatever it is, like when I do my messages, I use this goofy, it makes me look like a cartoon. I can even make it look like I'm underwater with Nemo with it. It's really cool. And then I just joke around about it. So, but I'm basically, and then the other thing too, I was going to say is Northwestern Mutual, they do it a little differently with their salespeople. You know, when you're selling life insurance, you have to make things really different. Otherwise people don't care about you. So Northwestern Mutual does half birthdays. They tell you, they wish you a great half birthday. And you're like, what? Yeah, your birthday is in another 6 months. I wanted to wish you a great half birthday. That's what they do. So.
Hey, Bill, those of us that are on the call, would you be able to send an example of the text birthday that you were talking about that you send out?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I can, I'll email it all out to you guys.
That'd be great. I'm curious to see what that is because it definitely is. Our business is even more so now and probably afterwards is going to be a stronger relationship business than it ever has been.
100%, you know, and I was talking with my sales manager on the phone this morning, and we're having a discussion right now about what is the new normal. So the last sales meeting we were at KW when we were all together, I got up in front of the room and I said, as a part of your 5x5x5 campaign, which is a campaign where you are going to seek out engagement with your database and you're going to create an opportunity. What is one of the 5 reasons why you're going to call your customer in your database? So one of them was to have a movie night and make it be a movie that all the kids would like, but the parents wouldn't like. So they would congregate over by the spiked punch table and they would start having a conversation about how great of a realtor Kathy is, because Kathy was loving on them by having this get together. Well, I don't know when the next time is that we're going to have one of those get togethers. Okay. So what you're going to do right now and in the next 6 months is you are going to find out ways as to how you're going to redefine yourself and how you're going to seek engagement, how you're going to gain rapport and deepen relationships. So I'm doing happy hours with a couple of people here and there that I haven't talked to. But the main thing right now, what I'm honestly trying to do is reach out with people via Facebook Messenger. And I'm asking them, and again, goes back to what I said to you guys about when I was talking about when I listened to a top producer and I was expecting them to say something that would give me this mass revelation, like an epiphany, like just came over me. How are you doing? What are you doing to get through this time? Those kind of questions resonate with people. Honestly, if you actually took the time to do that with 5 people per day, you're already doing way more than anyone else is. So I just want to break it back down. If I leave you with one thought here as we kind of wrap up the call, it's to make sure fundamentally block and tackle is a way of thinking for you, that you are concentrating on making block and tackle and counting how much engagement you can have with people as a part of your daily disciplines, not working on what's just right in front of you. Because working on what's just right in front of you is what everyone else is doing. And if that means you do it at 6 or 6:30 in the morning and they get that message because I don't know about you, how many of you honestly take your phone and look at it within the first 5 minutes of opening your eyes in the morning?
We'll have to turn the alarm off.
Yeah, me too.
So I just think it became a habit of people, especially now. So if you can get that form of engagement and figure out like, what are the ways that you're going to touch people so that when you do ask them for a lead, and that's the other thing right now too, you know what? You know what we're all trying to do? We're all trying to support local business owners, right?
Mhm.
So, you know, Allison Marr right now, she's doing this. She's promoting local businesses. And she's seeking engagement so that she can make referrals for local businesses. So if you have someone that you love that provides a local service and you can promote that person online and then ask for anyone who has a suggestion of anyone else that should be cross-endorsed to reach out to you. That's another example of how you can get social on your business page or whatever you want, whatever channel you want, for how like ways like right now I'm promoting the heck out of a guy that power washes houses, because a lot of people have vinyl siding on their houses and their houses get dirty and they don't do anything to clean them up for the spring season. Because like Sunday was one of the nicest days in a while. I don't know if anyone would agree with me. It seemed like last week was crap. And I'm looking at my neighbor's house and I got JJ, he can power wash your house for you really reasonable. So what other local businesses, aside from someone that I'd love to get my hair cut, that's some of the stuff that comes to mind. So CJ, you cut your own hair?
My mom,
Your mom does it?
she just did. Yeah.
That's awesome. Hopefully it turned out good.
I'm really far away from the camera for a reason.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you guys for taking some time on the call. Thanks for those who engaged. And, we can make these calls go whichever direction you want them to go, but I'm getting into some opportunity here to discuss what I like to call light attracts light today. And that was what my focus was. I feel like sometimes you need someone to lead you down the path of motivation, because having a discussion around it creates deductive reasoning and urgency. And I really hope I did that for you today.
My takeaway, Bill, is that I can give you the written copy that you need for this video that you're going to do, but you're apparently very good. So why don't you just go ahead and patch in J-Lo as my dancing portion of my video?
Should I superimpose your face in an edit on top of J-Lo's body when she's on the pole in the Super Bowl? Is that what you're saying, Kathy?
No, never mind. No.
You brought up J-Lo, I didn't.
Never mind. Thank you so much.
I'll send
Careful
out-
what
yeah.
you wish for, Kathy.
I'll send out those details. So we got the greatness tracker, the lead tracker, the info on the Google birthdays. And I hope you guys enjoyed the call. Encourage your peers to join us. Brandy, did you have one more comment?
Yeah, what is that app you're using
With this?
that makes you look like a cartoon?
Oh, it's on the iPhone only. You're probably gonna have to search for a couple of different ones. Oh, it's right in your phone. It's called Clips.
That's what that is?
Clips. Yes.
Huh. I almost uninstalled that. Okay, thanks.
Clips is awesome. Go into scenes under Clips and you will find it.
Bill, you brought a lot of value. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for everything.
You're welcome, guys. I'll talk to you all very soon.
Bye now.
Thanks,
See you later.
Bill.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, CJ.